Welcome back to the channel, guys. That's right, we're back on the S1000, more diagnosis.
Acquired a borescope for the S1000.
Quick recap for you guys. The dealer quoted me $5 grand to fix this bike because they said that cylinders 2 and 4 were leaking from the intake valves. We're gonna diagnose this thing ourselves. Main problem with the bike is it won't rev past 6,000 RPMs and it has no codes. We already started putting the damaged carbon rear wheel back on the bike. Now let's borescope those cylinders and see what we find. Valve looks good. A lot of carbon buildup on it. All right, I'm gonna run through all the cylinders because this is gonna be boring for you guys. So there was a ton of carbon buildup on the valves. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There's a ton of buildup on these valves. Each of the cylinders. I don't know if that's normal or not. This is the next cylinder. This valve top is wet, and then the next side is all dry. So I don't know what that's about. I really have no idea what I'm looking at, but the valves look fine to me. I mean, I'm not even sure what to look for. So let's go through the spark plugs. So let's remove the coil packs and then remove the spark plugs. I don't even think I have a socket for the spark plugs, but we'll figure it out. I'm in need of a spark plug socket. Unfortunate, shows how much I know. Those sockets are way too big. Those are automotive, not motorcycle. All the stores are closed. We'll catch you guys tomorrow with the right socket. All right, we're checking out the cylinders directly. Let's go from 4 to 1. We'll see how it looks. All right, we're gonna go down cylinder 4 first, see how it looks. All right, we're down. We're using the side camera right now, so we see the side of the wall. A lot of carbon buildup. Now we use the top camera to see the cylinder directly. Ugh, looks terrible in there. Okay, here's cylinder 3. Just looks like a ton of carbon buildup. Here's cylinder 2. Get a side angle. Oh, there's the valve. Here's the exhaust valve on cylinder 2. Looks fine to me. And lastly, here's cylinder 1. Valve looks good. I'll do the front view. Looks fine to me. And there's the spark plug hole. So we scoped all the cylinders. No scoring or damage on the cylinders, just a lot of carbon buildup. And here are the spark plugs. Spark plugs all look good. They're not wet. They just have a little bit of wear. That's normal, I assume. So before I go nuts with this thing and just start to take the head completely off, one of you guys reached out over Instagram, and I'll show you the DMs right here. But a tech from overseas mentioned that he had issues with the fuel pumps on these things, and they caused the bike to not rev over 6,000 RPMs with no codes. So right here is a fuel pump for a 21 BMW S1000RR. At this point, I'm willing to try anything, and I can return this fuel pump if it doesn't work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the old fuel pump out of the gas tank, put the new fuel pump in, put everything back together, put the headers back on, and see if it makes a difference. Also, when I turned the bike on previously, there was a fault for the engine ECU. I believe that's because they erased the file at the BMW dealership. So I think I'm gonna need to put a new file on the ECU before I can fully test. Also, I don't think I told you guys the diagnosis from BMW was $276. Was that worth it? almost forgot the gasket again. Let's start reassembling the beast. The exhaust is back on, the O2 sensors are on, the airbox is on. Let's plug in that ECU and the injectors, load that data file, start this bad boy up. I'm ready to hear this thing scream. So BMW deleted the tune on the bike. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let the bike run, get past the temp so the red bar is all the way up to 14,000. And then we'll test the throttle and see if it revs past 6,000 RPMs. It's gonna be smelly, it's gonna be loud. Oh yeah, it's gonna be cold. Woo, I'm ready. I'm ready. Starting her up. So I warmed her up, but I can't do anything because there's an engine fault. So let's plug into it and load that file. I am not a smoker. Alright guys, so there's a fault in the engine control unit. Let me show you what I found. So there are 6 codes for the ECU. All of them except for 2 are because of the mods on the bike, like the exhaust flap, variable air intake servo motor, that's deleted. This is one that concerns me, the throttle valve sensor channel 1 circuit short to battery voltage. I'm gonna have to look into that. And then like here, exhaust flap, variable intake pipe. Yeah, those are open because I have those deleted. And then there's the throttle valve 1 output stage open circuit. I have no idea what that means. So I'm gonna do some quick research on this and see what I can find. Turns out this is literally disconnected. This is literally disconnected. Look at that. It's not even plugged in. So the connector wasn't plugged in because the tab on this is broken for some reason. Now it's broken. So there shouldn't be a fault now when I turn on the bike. Nope, never mind, there's still a fault. But I think the code is not present anymore, but let's check that out. So now that connector is plugged back in, let's see if this code will clear on the dash. So I just cleared the code for the throttle thing that was open on the left side of the bike. Let's turn the bike on, start it up, see what happens. This thing is shooting fire. This thing is shooting fire, dog. Holy smokes, that doesn't sound good at all. Let's warm her up. Wow, the throttle is so responsive. That's insane. You see that fire? All we did was replace that fuel pump. I did a reset on the knock sensors through this GS911, but I'm still having an engine fault code on the dash, but man, that throttle is so responsive, not like before. And now as you saw, the bike does rev past 6,000 RPM, so that's amazing. It must have been a fueling issue, so thank you. I am still not sure why there's an engine fault code on the dash, so let's plug in the scan tool once again, do some digging and see what we find. So the tab on the left side of the throttle is broken, so the clip can't fully connect to it. It just kind of pushes in and sits there. So I wonder if that thing is sliding out, causing the bike to have issues. Anyway, let's run that scan, see what we find. Yeah, so I forgot to plug that in. Let's plug it in, see if it makes a difference. Man, so that's the only 2 codes that are left, and then that fault on the dash should be gone. It's very possible that when I was putting this thing back together, I just simply forgot a connector somewhere, so I'm gonna be on the lookout for that, but it is way too late for that now. That's gonna be it for tonight, guys. We'll catch you in the next one when we put this thing back together. Take it for a rip. See ya.